Hi everyone, it's me. Today we are diving into England's most expensive supermarket versus the cheapest. If you find that this video makes you a bit peckish, guess what? This video is sponsored by HelloFresh. Make sure to check out my link in the description, or you can use this QR code, Science. Our exclusive deal gets you 60% off your first box, 20% off your first 2 months, and free desserts for life. I know, wild. Anyway, more details on HelloFresh later. Have a seat, get comfortable, maybe get a cuppa, maybe get a snack, because we're going to taste test so much food. I hope you're ready. All right, everybody, let's begin. I've still got my morning coffee, which probably shouldn't really go with this taste test. And to be completely honest, I am sick. Yes, I know, again. I've been sick for the last 2.5 weeks. I'm so tired of it. I've been looking forward to doing this video for so long because we got so many good things. Sorry, I should stop talking and let's eat. Let's start off with the sweets. So first up, we have Waitrose Cherry Bakewell Tarts. When I was shopping for this video, I was trying to find the Waitrose branded thing and the Aldi branded knockoff version. Obviously, there's loads of different types of Bakewells, so I went with the Waitrose ones, and the Aldi ones are these. I've got my receipt from Waitrose and my receipt from Aldi. So the Waitrose ones were £2.75 and our knockoff boys was £1.19. So a decent amount of difference. I also should point out 4 versus 6. I just demolished that box. Waitrose first, cheers. Wow. That is really good. Look how full it is. How deep. It's so almondy and cherry. It's really, I hate to say it, moist. That is so good. That is a good Bakewell. Is it worth the price? Let's have a look at Aldi. Cheers. The Aldi one's not bad, but it's definitely more pastry. They're pretty filled as well, but it's not as moist or as like cherry almondy as the Waitrose one. It's still a perfectly fine Bakewell. I mean, I guess I don't have Bakewells often, so if I want to treat myself, these are really good. Like, these are real good. If I just want to have a treat like more frequently, perhaps, these are fine. They're not terrible. They're not bad. But there is a noticeable difference, in my humble opinion. And yes, I've taken a lot of cold medicine this morning. But that's besides the point. These ones are 4 out of 6.5. Almost there. Not quite. You can tell the difference. But it just matters whether the difference matters to you. Do you know what I mean? Wow. We gotta hurry up. I got so much stuff. Chips. Crisps. Rather. If you're new to my channel, hi, my name's Alanna. I am Canadian, but I live here in the UK and I've been here for the last 8 years. I love taste testing food. I got a million videos on my channel of taste tests if that's something that you're interested in. Crisps, I don't want to say I'm an expert, but I might be. So to start us off, we have the Waitrose sea salt and balsamic vinegar crisps. These are £1.65, which in terms of crisps, on the pricier side, but not unreasonable either. I've definitely tried crisps that are more expensive than this. And for Aldi, we have the sea salt and Chardonnay vinegar. So technically, yes, there are 2 different types of vinegar. I couldn't find the same one at both shops, but this one is £1.15. So not a huge difference, to be fair. I guess it also depends like how frequently you're buying them, right? Cheers. That's a good crisp. It's vinegary, it's salty. They got it, can you see in there? These are great. They're probably not the best. I have tried a lot of salt and vinegar, particularly salt and vinegar because that's my favorite. I wouldn't say they're the best salt and vinegar, but they're top 5. Aldi, cheers. That's a good crisp. I'll tell you what, it's a good crisp. I will eat both of these bags, right? And I'll have a great time. These ones I think are a little bit stronger. If you like the Chardonnay vinegar, Co-op. I haven't had them for a long time, but I remember Co-op does salt and vinegar, or Chardonnay salt and vinegar, you know what I mean? And they're so strong. They're better. In my mind, I remember them being better than this, but this is perfectly fine. They're both good. And they're both kind of like similar prices. So I'm happy with both of these. I think these ones have a bit more of a stronger flavor, and I think the Co-op ones are a little bit better than the Chardonnay bit. 7 out of 7.5. Wow, that's vinegary. 2 out of 2.5 out of 4. Yeah, that's nice. Next up, cheese. One of my favorite things in the world. And I'll tell you what, as a foreigner living in the UK, Brits have access to some of the best cheese in the world. And that's not really possible in Canada. In Canada and in the US, cheese is so expensive. And to be completely honest, it's not very good. So just a reminder for British people watching this video, respect, be grateful, and appreciate the cheese that you have, all right? Because not everywhere has good cheese. Anyway, that's off topic. On the Waitrose side, we have the Essential Waitrose Mature British Cheddar Strength 4. This was £2.60 for this amount of cheese. In Canada, insane. And for our Aldi competitor, we have the Emporium British Cheddar Strength 4, full flavored and smooth. Now this was $2.49. So we're talking very comparable prices, $2.60, $2.49. Although I'll tell you what, the Waitrose is 50 grams lighter than the Aldi. Okay, let's crack her open. These are starting to sweat. We should eat them now and then I'll put them back in the fridge. Cheers to cheese, Waitrose. That's a great cheese. Sorry, my partner is also sick. You may hear some ambient coughing in the background. This is creamy, really nice cheddar, mature cheddar. It's lovely. What a great time to be alive. I'll be honest, last 2 weeks, I felt like I was dying. So this is a real treat. Next up we have Aldi, slightly cheaper for 50 grams more. Cheers. That's a great cheese. Real good. To be honest, indistinguishable from Waitrose. I think these are both delicious, mature British cheddar. They both get a perfect score of 7 out of 7 bathtubs full of cheese. The Aldi is a little bit cheaper for 50 grams more, but realistically, the taste, to me, I eat a lot of cheese, very, very similar. Delicious. Now I got so much cheese. I'm gonna have to find a use for it all. If you've watched the video this long and you're not hungry, you are psychotic. This video is sponsored by HelloFresh. After a miserable, dark, gloomy winter, are you feeling uninspired to cook? Because I don't blame you. HelloFresh has so many fun, interesting, fresh, super easy spring recipes for you to make this season. I've already made 2 and I had a great time. I love to eat, which is probably pretty evident in this video. I love to eat, I love trying new things, but sometimes finding a new recipe, choosing that recipe, going out to the shops and buying stuff is just a bit overwhelming. I don't have time. So HelloFresh makes it as simple as humanly possible. I've already made these 2 things, which were absolutely delicious, and they were so simple. So first up was a Serrano ham wrapped chicken breast with cheesy truffle roast potatoes, tender stem broccoli, and a creamy sauce. Guess what? I made this while I was ill, and it was delicious. The instructions are so straightforward. There's pictures, which is great. Then I made the American style chicken schnitzel sando, caramelized onions, burger sauce, and fries. I also made this while I was ill. They're that simple and it's delicious. And it's so nice having a home-cooked meal when you're sick. If you want to try a new meal this spring, check out my link in the description or handy QR code. With my exclusive deal, you're gonna get 60% off your first box, 20% off your next 2 months, and free desserts for life. I know! HelloFresh is something that I like to use. I've used for years. I find a lot of value in it, so I hope you can make use of our exclusive deal. Link in the description, QR code, whatever you like, and make something tasty this spring. Anywho, we still have a lot of food to taste, so let's get back to my video. Next up, how about pork pies? So for Waitrose, we have 2 Melton Mowbray pork pies. This was £1.85 for 2 of these little bad boys. And on the Aldi side, we have their Crestwood 4 classic pork pies. And this cost, how much? £1.19 for 4 of these versus £1.85 for 2. So now we are in different pricing ranges. Do you know what I mean? I'm just gonna try all of these cold. You know, time is of the essence and I can't be bothered to stand up. So this is our Waitrose. Beautiful, lots of filling. Cheers. Delicious. The pastry and the filling are really nice on that one. Not hugely seasoned. I bet with a little piccalilli would really help. Here's the Aldi. Hold on. Waitrose, Aldi. We've got different colored insides. This also, Waitrose looks like it's got a thicker crust around the outside. This one looks a bit thinner. Let's try the Aldi. Cheers. Where's my water? Aldi tastes not a lot. It just kind of tastes a bit mushy with a little bit of pork, but not much else. The 2 Waitrose are definitely more expensive, but they have much more of a taste, of a flavor. For all of these ones that we've done so far, the Aldi version has been good. I'd enjoy eating the Aldi one. This is the first one where I don't want to eat any more of these Aldi pork pies. They taste a bit mushy. They don't really taste of anything. You really have to dollop some piccalilli or something on that because it really doesn't taste like anything. Are these 2 pies worth £1.85? I could take it or leave it. This one's actually been kind of disappointing. Waitrose, 4 out of 6 pies in your hand, and Aldi, 1 out of 8, put it in the bin. This has been the first one that's been like disappointing, but that's okay. I got so much more stuff. Next up, we are talking about Scotch eggs. As a Canadian, I love a good Scotch egg. They're not really a thing in Canada. I mean, you can find things pretty much anywhere in the world, right? If you looked hard enough, you could find a Scotch egg in Canada, but I had never come across them growing up in Canada. It was really a thing that I was introduced to here, and I love them. I love British, like, snacky foods. Like picnic little bits. I just love it. First up, we have the Waitrose 2 Scotch eggs. Absolutely massive. 280 grams for these bad boys. And this was not cheap. This was £3.50. So like, you know, a decent price. I will say something that stood out to me when shopping for this video. Waitrose has variations. So there's like quite a few Scotch eggs. Expensive Scotch eggs, mid Scotch eggs, cheap Scotch eggs. Where I found at Aldi, it's kind of like, do you want 2 Scotch eggs or do you want 6 Scotch eggs? Like there wasn't a lot of like a nicer quality versus a cheaper quality. It's kind of like, this is what we have. For Aldi, we have Crestwood 2 Scotch eggs ready to eat, 226 grams. So not as hefty, and this was only £1.09. So very, very cheap. Lighter, sure, but substantially cheaper. Look at the size. This is Waitrose, obviously. Look at the size. Incredible. All right, we've got a giant egg. We've got a decent amount of filling as well. Cheers, everybody. Waitrose. That's a good Scotch egg. Lots of flavor, lots of filling. Even the outside tastes quite nice. Good egg in the middle. This is good. It is expensive. Would I really want to pay £3.50 for this? Hard to say, but delicious. Get this out of the way. Crumbs everywhere. So our Aldi guy, not as big. Also like slightly a different color. This is quite a bit lighter than the Waitrose one, but this ends up being like 50 pence. Do you know what I mean? No, it doesn't. What is math? Okay. Oh, all right. Well, let me show you something, and you tell me what you think. Waitrose. Will it focus? You can kind of see the coloring of the egg and the meat and the outside, right? Aldi. There's no texture to the meat inside. It's just kind of like a paste. And the egg is really gray looking. I don't know how well that comes up on this camera. This is like quite yellow, and this is quite gray. And the meat is just all uniform. I mean, maybe it tastes great. Cheers. Okay. Not terrible. I've taste tested a lot of things on this channel, and I've eaten a lot of things in this great life that I have. This is not the worst thing I've ever had. It's not great, but it's not the worst. I don't have Scotch eggs often. Again, it would be a treat. I would rather have a nice treat than that. I don't want to eat any more of that. I don't think it's passable. I just... But the £3.50 for these two Scotch eggs is a lot. So it would be something, again, like the Cherry Bakewells. They're really good, and this was really good. Would I buy it all the time? No, because I'm not eating it all the time. But as a treat, absolutely. I would want to have something that tastes nice. This Aldi does not taste nice. But for £1 for two, what do you expect? Waitrose gets a cautious 6 out of 8 giant balls. And Aldi gets a 2 out of 9. I'd really rather not. Okay, I have crumbs literally everywhere. That's an issue for later. Next up, I would like to talk about strawberries. I thought this might be fun. These are both 40 grams of strawberries. And I feel like I need a little bit of fruit, to be honest. So first up, Waitrose strawberries. Sweet and juicy, they look pretty good. These are a little bit older just because my Waitrose order came in earlier than I could go to Aldi. So they're a few days ahead of schedule. This costs £3.10 for 400 grams of strawberries. So this is something that I would buy somewhat frequently. Not necessarily Scotch eggs, but strawberries, yes. Aldi strawberries are more recent. I got them yesterday. They are now £2.09, so they were on sale. Normally £2.59 compared to the $3.10 for Waitrose. So, you know, $2.09, $3.10 is a decent difference, especially if you're buying these a lot. And it's for the same amount of weight. And they both come from Spain. Okay, here's a hot thing that I never noticed before. Waitrose strawberries. Origin, Spain. Variety, candy. Candy strawberries. Aldi, come to us from Spain as well. Variety, Seyra. I don't know what those words mean. Alanna editing this video might have to give that a Google. But she's sick, so she's probably not gonna bother. And that's okay, let her just get by, all right? Oh, I just destroyed that. Cheers to Waitrose. It's a nice strawberry. Aldi, cheers. Oh, that does taste different. I don't know how to explain it, but they do taste different, and I can't really articulate why or how rather. They're two different varieties technically. I don't know the difference. So the only thing that comes up is that this, a red Sarah is an extra early short day strawberry variety with high linear production throughout the season. They're kind of like a new type of strawberry. Wow, I think I've stumbled into something big because there's like a million different strains of strawberry like that they breed. I'm too sick for that. They're both good. They both taste like strawberries. They both taste different. Aldi tasted like ever so slightly more tart, but that could just be me, honestly. I find very little difference in these, but Aldi's are really a pound cheaper. So if it's something that you're getting often, it would be nice to get them a pound cheaper. Do you know what I mean? Otherwise, great. 9 out of 10.5 pretty nice strawberries. I don't think we're in the season for strawberries, to be honest. What is it, April? Winter strawberries in season. Strawberries are in season late May to September. So yeah, we're not quite there yet. Summer strawberries, oh my God, there's something about them, right? These are still good. I've said enough about strawberries. We need to move on. I'm running out of space. Hope that doesn't fall. Next up, 2 bullet point notes on this research study. I bought these. These are Aldi, and I did buy them from Waitrose, but I realized afterwards that they were out of stock when I got my delivery. The Waitrose Essentials, how much were they? They were really cheap. I was so surprised. 90 pence for 400 grams. So like those things of strawberries, 400 grams of bourbon creams for 90 pence on Waitrose, which is awesome. But they're out of stock, which is really annoying because I had already bought these ones from Aldi, which are 39 pence for 20 grams. So if you bought 2 of these versus the one thing from Waitrose, they're pretty much the exact same price, which is wild. I mainly wanted to get them because every time I say bourbon creams, grown British people, grown-ups, will email me telling me that I say it weird. And that is just a weird thing to happen. Do with that information what you will. Other thing, what was the other thing? I got a Waitrose meal deal. Now their meal deal is £5, which is pretty pricey, and I was gonna get an Aldi meal deal to compare. Then I realized Aldi doesn't do meal deals, so that didn't happen. But I will just say, the Waitrose meal deal that I got was a steak and caramelized onion spinach sandwich thing, which honestly is the best meal deal sandwich I've ever had in this country. Then I got a sparkling like blood orange, one of those fancy drinks. They're always really nice. And I got a bag of Terrell's 40-gram bag, which is way bigger than like the Tesco meal deal size. £5 is expensive, but honestly, it was the best sandwich ever. It was so good. I was very happy. Now, when I was at Aldi, while they don't do meal deals, they do sandwiches and wraps and things, and they were like £1.50 each-ish. Then you could buy a drink for maybe £1-ish. And then realistically, you could buy a full-size bag of chips, and it would be comparable. But none of the sandwiches looked really good, and I decided to not bother. But I will just say, the Waitrose steak sandwich, I ate every last crumb. That's the best meal deal sandwich I've ever had. Anyway, moving right along. What was I talking about before? Next up, one of my favorite things in the world, sausage rolls. How British. So for this experiment, I got the fancier Waitrose 2 outdoor bread pork sausage rolls. These cost £2.64 for 2 pretty big boys, to be fair. And $2.60, I'm kind of okay with that. Compared to the $3.50 for the Scotch eggs, $2.60 for 2 like really nice looking sausage rolls, I think is pretty reasonable. On the Aldi side, we have these hog roast sausage rolls. Same great taste, new look. So you get 4 of them, they're smaller obviously, and they cost £2.19. So a little bit cheaper, but not unreasonably so. Have a look at that though, that's our Waitrose one. Look at the size of it. The pork is like hanging out in the ends. Let's do a cross section. Just ignore my little strawberry bits. Pastry looks nice and flaky, good amount of meat inside. Cheers, everybody. That's a good sausage roll. It tastes like real meat and pastry and flaky and seasoned. Really nice. I think for £2.64 between two really nice sausage rolls is reasonable. But what about Aldi? I couldn't find sausage rolls at Aldi that were like two big ones instead of the four little ones. So here we go. I mean, it's got nice coloring and stuff. Cheers. This one is actually noticeable. That is really, it's really dry tasting. And then there's like a whole bunch of like thyme or something on the outside. It's like the main thing you can taste. You can't even really taste the meat inside. Yeah, not the best. If it was part of a picnic and you had all little bits and you had one of these, like I'm not gonna be upset about it, but it's really not exciting. Whereas the Waitrose one is like, damn. That's a good sausage roll. I'm gonna give the Waitrose 7 out of 7 hogs and the Aldi 1 out of 4 dry flakes of thyme. Not terrible, but there is like a noticeable difference. So that has been my Waitrose versus Aldi haul. Waitrose does come out ahead on most things. But not everything. More expensive does not always mean better. I think the cheese was actually quite surprising. Aldi's got great cheese. Did you guys know that? I do just want to say a big shout out to Grackle, who inspired this video. She did a Waitrose versus Aldi video, which is linked in the video description if you want to go show it some love. Also, thank you to HelloFresh. Don't forget to use my link in the description to get yourself a nice little treat. You gotta be hungry after all that, surely. If you would like to watch more of my content right now, which honestly would be real cool, how about this one? I talked about Would I Lie to You, one of the best shows ever. But as always, thank you guys so much for watching, and until next time, bye!